Hey YouTube, it's Steven and welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about dark-skinned men who do not like slash prefer light-skinned women. Because believe it or not, those men actually do exist. Believe it or not. Because I know a lot of times when we talk about, love and dating and preferences amongst us in the community, oftentimes it seems like every single dark-skinned man is like lusting after light-skinned women. And that's not true. As well, it seems like, it may seem like every single dark-skinned man has a light-skinned woman, on his arms. That's not true either. To keep it real, I don't think there are enough light-skinned women to go around in the community um, for that to happen. But that's another story. But for this story here, I just want to, give my perspective. Obviously, I'm not the best person to be giving this perspective, obviously. But I do think it is something that we should probably discuss. But yeah, there are some uh, dark-skinned men who do not prefer light-skinned women. They actually sometimes prefer women who are like more or less around their skin tone. You know, they may be like a little lighter than them, but they're still like considered dark, right? But I think one reason we can get out of the way right quick is just they may just not be attracted to them. They may not like the features that light-skinned women have, right? And also, biracial is included in light-skinned women in this particular video and how I'm referring to it. All right. Yeah, dark-skinned men may just not like uh, those features. They may not find them appealing, etc. Right? They may just be more attracted to features that are more reflective of them. Right? Another reason that I think some dark-skinned men don't like light-skinned women is because they may have had bad experiences with light-skinned women. The light-skinned women may feel like, they may feel like the light-skinned women is what the women are acting pretentious, bougie, uppity, etc. Right? Because that is a stereotype that's associated amongst lighter-skinned people in general. It's like the light-skinned men act arrogant, and the light-skinned women are like snobbish, right? Those are the stereotypes. Um, Me personally, I don't think I really fall into that stereotype. But, perhaps some other people looking on the outside may view it differently. But I personally don't think I fall into that stereotype. But another story for another day. So yeah, I think for the darker skinned men, that may be a turnoff, that attitude that, some lighter skinned women have. And that attitude that they may have even, that some other darker skinned men have even like fed into, and feel that attitude because they put them on a pedestal and act like they're the best thing walking, etc. Right? But some darker skinned men, on the other hand, are like, like you too uppity for me, you know. Um, so that attitude may perhaps turn off some dark skinned men as well. Um, Another reason, some darker skinned men may want children who look like them, right? Who come out looking, more or less like them. So that's one reason that they may get with a woman who looks more or less like them. Not like them, but have their features, right? A lot of times darker skinned men are stereotyped as being like, color struck or self-hating, wanting to wash away their blackness. And of course, that's not true. There's plenty of dark-skinned men who, love and embrace and appreciate, the black that they're in, right? And want to even perpetuate it to the next generation, right? um, let's see, another reason. Um, I guess before I get into the other reason, I want to do a quick sidebar right quick. I feel like if this was, like I just mentioned, like dark skinned men wanting to perpetuate, that, you know, the type of blackness that he has through his children, right? I feel like if that was like a lighter skinned person saying that, people would kind of feel some type of a way about that, though. Like saying, like, "Oh, I want my children to look like me." I feel like I don't know, I feel like black people would kind of feel some type of way about that. Um, and I feel like the community would accept like a darker skinned person saying that better than a lighter skinned person saying that. Because I think oftentimes it's sort of assumed that the lighter skinned person will kind of like more or less like assimilate into um, blackness more, like than versus either staying light or going white or other. Um, it's just something that I noticed. I could be wrong, but yeah. Okay, so next, another reason that I think some darker skinned men may not like lighter skinned women is because um, lighter skinned women might not be feeling them, right? Because the way that colorism is set up in the community, it'll have you thinking like every light skinned chick looking like Beyonce and Rihanna, and every dark skinned dude is looking like Idris Elba and Morris Chestnut, and that's not true, right? So the light skinned chicks who do look like Beyonce and Rihanna may not want to get with the dark skinned dudes who do not look like Morris Chestnut and um, Idris Elba. Um, because they like. I guess where I'm getting at is like, um, the basic dark skinned dudes, like the light skinned, the exceptional light skinned chicks aren't going to get with the basic dark skinned dudes, right? They're going to get with the exceptional dark skinned dudes, like two exceptional people coming together, usually, right? Unless the basic dark skinned dude has something that would make him exceptional, like perhaps like a high paying job or some type of a status, etc., right? And I think because of that dynamic, some darker skinned men may not be feeling lighter skinned women because the lighter skinned women that they may like may not be feeling them. Yeah. I know that's a little confusing, but bear with me. All right. Yeah. Another reason, the darker skinned man may come from a family that has a lot of dark skinned women in his family, as well as a community that has a lot of dark skinned women. And he may feel like he should be with a dark skinned woman because of, his family and the community he was raised in, in the neighborhood he was raised in. He may just feel like, that is who I'm supposed to be with, right? Even despite what the media puts out there, because a lot of times in the media, they do kind of like pair up dark-skinned men with light-skinned women in the media, right? And they like, oh, that's a black relationship too, right? Let's see. Another reason. Hmm. Perhaps he may feel some type of guilt for being with a lighter skinned woman. Perhaps he may not want people to view him as being like self-hating or color struck. A lot of those negative words that are attached to dark skinned men who have a preference for light skinned women. That may play a part in it too. Because as quiet as it's kept, like black women are especially, like not just black women, but people in general are especially cognizant, aware, and watchful of the women who dark-skinned men in particular date. Light-skinned men typically don't have to deal with that, you know, watchful eye of who they date. No one really be tripping about that. You know? But for some reason, when it comes to dark-skinned men, people a lot of times seem to a lot of people seem to have an opinion about that. Whether it's the dark-skinned women or the light-skinned women, someone got an opinion, right? Heck, I'm making a video right now about it, more or less, right? But those are some legitimate reasons that some dark-skinned men may not like light-skinned women, right? And I don't think that. I think as long, it's kind of like what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's necessarily bad for darker skinned men to have a preference for lighter skinned women or to not have a preference for lighter skinned women. It's just the reasoning behind it, I think, ultimately is what is the issue. Because me personally, I do think it's like, I think when you get like, cross skin tone, I guess interracial skin tone dating. I don't know how to word it, but when you have like two people who are black but of different skin tones come together, like a light-skinned person and a dark-skinned person, a light-skinned woman and a dark-skinned man, or a light-skinned man and a dark-skinned woman. I do think that is like a beautiful thing. As well, I do think it's a beautiful thing when two dark-skinned black people come together too, right? But I think the cross-color, relationship is beautiful too. I'm not sure why. I guess maybe because it kind of like maybe symbolizes some type of like peace and harmony between the skin tones, like like coming together, creating, a family, a marriage, a family, and perpetuating like, that into the community, you know. But some people may not like it. Some people may feel like, we may just need to stick with our own skin tones. And I made a video about that and feeling and kind of like arguing that that could help in colorism, but it could also perpetuate divisiveness, or perpetuate divisiveness and ultimately split us up into different groups, ethnic groups. So I don't know, I do think that's something to consider, right? But I've gone on for long enough. What do you guys think? Especially if you are a dark-skinned man, your opinion is extremely important and extremely valid in this case, more than usual. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Your feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.